Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. It's Alexis Garcia and Ken Shreve here to break down the market action in today's session for Monday, June 10th. And Ken, stocks turn higher today with a lot of news on the tech front. We have Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference kicking off today. And we also saw an NVIDIA stock split. So what do you have on tap for us?
Well, we're still looking at a very, very strong market here, Alexis. Great to see you. So not hard finding good stocks to talk about. A rising tide tends to lift all boats. So let's take a look at General Motors, which staged a really beautiful technical breakout today, ticker GM. Also Birkenstock, which has had a successful IPO, recently saw a really nice earnings report from Birkenstock, BIRK, and finally in the healthcare space, Globus Medical, GMED.
All right, well, we will get to those names, but first, let's check in on the major indexes. And as you said, Ken, rising tide here with the NASDAQ finishing up about 0.4% today. The S&P also finishing up about 0.3%, and the Dow also finishing in the green, up about 0.2%. So, Ken, let's take a closer look at the NASDAQ. We see some tight trading here around that 17,100 level. What are your thoughts here?
Well, this is what Mike Webster has been talking about on IBD Live, a market that is just showing picture perfect price action. You had a nice gap up above the 17,000 level last week, and what has it done since then? It's just been holding above 17,000. We're in a power trend. We're in a confirmed uptrend. So this is really just the type of price action you want to see. Now, you mentioned we do have quite a few headlines that we're going to have to work our way through this week. We've got the two-day Federal Reserve meeting that starts tomorrow. We'll get the decision on interest rates Wednesday. We got earnings reports from Oracle and Adobe and one other one in there, Broadcom. Yeah, Broadcom, AVGO. So lots of headlines to get through this week, but things look pretty well here.
All right.
Look pretty good, I should say.
Well, yeah, speaking of things looking pretty good, S&P looking pretty good today. And again, same story, trading tightly here near highs. So what are your thoughts here, Ken?
Well, an all-time closing high for the S&P 500 today, just like the NASDAQ composite, also an all-time closing high. So just seeing some money come in from the sidelines here. The market is optimistic about something. I don't know if it's optimistic about a soft landing for the economy where growth slows, but not enough to put the economy into a recession. Could be optimistic about the earnings environment for some of these Wall Street companies going forward. But and the Dow Jones, definitely the laggard index.
I didn't want the Dow Jones to feel left out here, but
Yeah.
Good day today. But as you mentioned, looks not as great as some of the other ones out there.
Well, it's I think it's what you need to pay attention to. I mean, obviously the strength in the market right now is in tech stocks with the NASDAQ 100 and the NASDAQ composite. Pretty broad-based leadership in the S&P 500, but you've got blue chips lagging a little bit. The Dow just trying to hold on to its 50-day moving average. Probably some people that want to see the blue chip index start a new uptrend, but for it to do that, it's probably going to need to, for starters, get above Friday's high. So we'll see if that can happen. But if you're looking to make money in the blue chip space, I'm not sure that's exactly the area in the market you want to be in right now.
All right, well, let's take a look at the 10-year Treasury yield, because as you mentioned, we do have some Fed action this week, and that was up again about 0.4% after surging last week. So what are your thoughts here?
Well, that was a pretty big surge on Friday. We had that stronger than expected jobs report, so not surprising to see bond yields jump. That was a 15 basis point move on Friday. And to see that, again, the market hold up the way that it did, not only on Friday amid a surge in interest rates, but, that 10-year yield up another 4 basis points today. Looks like it's trying to come into that 4.49, 4.5% level. So we'll see if that ends up being resistance. But, just to way the see bond yields are trading here, this market is just showing strength across the board.
All right. Well, you mentioned General Motors. Let's take a look there. Up about 4% today, and nice breakout from a 46.16 entry.
Yeah, I saw an upgrade from HSBC to buy, and they lifted the price target maybe up to the mid 50s, but it didn't seem like it's just a huge upgrade, but it was an upgrade, so that might have moved the stock. I was reading last week there was a story talking about how GM is kind of availing itself of the Costco Auto program. So that's 50 million Costco subscribers in the year in the U.S. that are getting GM deals, and a company that's really making good inroads in the EV market. Their Chevy Equinox is doing pretty well, and the Blazer EVs are pretty good. Doing well as well. So General Motors, nice breakout today, still in that 5% buy zone, and you had good volume, and looks like a good, strong technical breakout today.
All right, well, let's take a look at Birkenstock here. And for those that don't know, I am wearing Birkenstocks here in my home office. It's business up top and I guess comfort below. But again, a nice day, up about 1.6% and just above this buy zone here.
Yeah, I don't own a pair myself, but I've been following the company. It was a pretty successful IPO. They came public last year in October. Hit that high of 55 and then came down and started forming a base. But just recently, you had a nice earnings gap. You saw the revenue up 49%. Look at the acceleration. You go to the 3 months ago quarter, revenue was only up 26%. So anytime you see revenue growth accelerate like that, obviously there's strong demand for the product here. So starting to see more Birkenstocks around in my travels. Like I said, I don't own a pair yet, but I hear they're pretty uncomfortable. Pretty comfortable. What I like about the stock is how it's holding gains from that earnings gap. So this is one where you kind of want to try to get it on a pullback. I think it's a little bit extended here, but you want to focus on strength in the market, and these stocks that are holding gaps like Birkenstock, you often can see alternate entries, but just needs to take a little bit of a breather here.
All right, well, let's go to the final name on our list. That is Globus Medical. And again, a nice day today, up 1.6%. And this one, flirting with that 21-day line, but extended from a proper buy point.
Yes, but similar to Birkenstock, another stock that responded very positively to earnings several weeks ago. You had a big bullish gap up here. You got triple-digit revenue growth over the past 2 quarters, 36% earnings rise. So love to see stocks, especially with good fundamentals, that are holding gains after a gap up. So Birkenstock is doing it. Globus Medical is doing it as well, and just kind of waiting for an alternate entry here. This looks like a high quality company that's executing well. You can see in the company description they do a lot of innovative fusion technology for people with spine disorders. So sort of like maybe a better mousetrap here. So the revenue growth is impressive, fundamentals are good, and the technical picture is strong. Just got to wait for a little period of digestion, sideways movement, and maybe you get a new entry here.
All right, Ken. Well, thank you so much. That's it for today. We'll be back with more market analysis tomorrow morning, starting with IBD Live. You can head on over to investors.com/IBD Live for all the details there. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow after the close.